Peace and harmony, family. Welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to kind of open the floor to healing that mother-daughter wound, because it is such a touchy topic for a lot of us, and I wanted to be able to express certain things that I have experienced as a mother and how it has affected my relationship with my daughter, and how I've made sudden changes because of me just having more compassion for my mother, and it led me to have other compassion for other women. And even my daughter, our relationship has changed, so that's why I'm making this video. But anyways, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I want to look this way because sometimes when I'm looking at myself, I kind of get distracted because I just, wow. But no, I do get distracted sometimes looking at myself. My ADHD be kind of like, I look at all the colors and it's kind of confusing me. But if I'm looking this way, just take the message, just take the message. Okay? So, deep breath. Motherhood is such a touchy topic. It's such a touchy topic to the point of, instead of women wanting to talk about it, we often avoid it and think that we can do better than what our mothers have done. And I'm finding out that that's really not the case. In fact, a lot of times we be trying to avoid being the mother that we had growing up, that we end up being exactly her. When it comes to change, if we want to see change, we have to first address the initial issue, the root cause, before there can be any change. We can have this illusion that we are changing and that things are happening for the better, but what we often come to find out is we are doing the exact same thing that our mothers were doing. And one of the things that, and this is going to be a very transparent episode or video, whatever, and this is why I advocate for mothering with a purpose, because at the age where I had my menstrual cycle, my first menstrual cycle, my mother was not around. And I'm realizing how crucial, how important that is for a little girl to have her mother around when she is being initiated into womanhood, because that's really what a menstrual cycle is. You're being initiated, your body's initiating you spiritually. You are being initiated into womanhood. And oftentimes for us as women, we have not been taught about rites of passage. We have not been taught how to properly take care of ourselves, our emotions, none of that. We have not been taught it. And that's where mothering with a purpose comes in, because we are meeting and mending the relationships between daughters and mothers. But we first have to do that with compassion, grace, patience, and understanding of what's going on with ourselves and our mothers, so that we can help the next generations of women to be exactly who they need to be, and that's real women. So I did not have my mother at the time that I had my menstrual cycle. And as young as I was, I didn't know that I was going to grow up to um, be angry or resent my mom. I never knew that was the reason until I started doing shadow work. Until I started realizing that I have been so angry with my own daughter, trying to be nothing like my mother. I literally was. I was angry at my daughter. I didn't know why. All I knew was I was used to my people telling, as long as the child got clothes, food, and somewhere to sleep, that's all the parents, that's what they need. That's what they need. And that was my relationship with my mom. I love my mom. But that was our relationship. She made sure we had clothes, we ate, we did sports, but it was an emotional disconnect. It was a part about learning who I was as a woman in this chaotic world that I was missing. And at first I was angry and I wanted to oh, you did this to my life. Like, you made me this. I blame my mom a lot. I blame her a lot. I used to, I would yell at my mom, over the phone, because I was trying to express to her the pain and the resentment that I had. And I eventually began to realize that, even if I do express this to her, which my mom, she never, anytime I expressed myself, she was just like, yeah, I hear you. I understand. She never yelled back. So, I had to come to terms that it's not her fault. It's mine. Because I'm the one that's angry. I'm the one that's triggered. Why am I triggered? Why? And this is when I had to do the shadow work. This is when I had to do the shadow work. I started asking myself, well, why am I so angry at this woman that I'm supposed to, I love her so much. Well, why am I so angry at her? And I had to go, everything always came back full circle to the very moment that I had my menstrual cycle. My mom was, excuse me, mother, I love you so much. I'm about to tell your story. My mom was arrested. So I didn't really, as a 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old, you don't know, your emotions start. You don't have the emotional intelligence to really understand what is happening with yourself. And then I love my family, but they also didn't really talk to me to help me navigate. I never seen a therapist, just nothing. And this makes me realize how much we don't take pride and honor in communicating effectively to our children to make sure that they are okay. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I was after my mom came back, and she ended up going again a year later, and I just kind of remember becoming rebellious. I even remember being more promiscuous, just doing whatever. And when I was asking myself these questions, why am I angry? What about this situation is pissing me off? I'm tired of feeling like this. When I started getting down to it, the questions just kept leading up to, when are you going to ask her story? When are you going to ask your mother what happened with her? When are you going to mend the stories? When are you going to see the timelines, the synchronicities? It is something called intergenerational womb trauma, where what a grandmother can experience with trauma, her daughter can experience something just as similar. Then her daughter experiences something similar. If it's not the same, it's similar situations and timelines. We are so magical as beings, as mothers, to be able to be gifted life, and whatever we experience gets transferred and transferred and transferred down to the cycles of trauma, even the good things. That is how it's so purposeful. Mothering is so purposeful. And when I started looking at it, I was like, okay, yeah, I need to know what happened at this time in her life. Like, what? I started, like, okay, I got questions, because I need to understand our relationship. I need to understand you on a deeper level so that I can understand her. Because one of the things that I pride myself in being a mother is really making that openness, that emotional, available, safe space for me and my daughter to communicate. And as she's getting older, I'm like, okay, I can see it, but then I can't see it. And like, I can see sometimes I would have these like kind of like trigger moments, and I can see it kind of does something to my daughter's face. Like, her kind of face just changes, and I'm like, oh God, no, like, not one of those moments. And you know, I'm trying to fix that. But when I started doing the shadow work, I'm able to look at my own daughters differently. When I started asking my mom about her story and her childhood and what she experienced, it gave me compassion for the woman that birthed me. Even if our lifestyles do not mix and match, it gave me a different level of understanding for what she has experienced, because our experiences are different. We came here to experience life differently than our parents. Like, we all have different purposes. And just being able to know that she fought this hard, or she done this, she done that, it gave me a certain level of understanding. Like, okay, I see why when you came back from being arrested and everything, going to jail, you were less available because of shame. And I understand that now. And so that gave me grace to extend to my mom, which allows me to give grace for myself for any type of behavior or triggers that I experience with my daughter. And now I'm able to look at my daughter and give her a whole different happiness and peace. And you know, I'm able to see, okay, this is the next generation, this is the old generation, and then I'm the present generation. Like, old, present, future. And I was like, okay, since we're presently here, let's mend this right here so that we can have stronger women and better women, raise them up right, with morals, with etiquettes, with ways of just knowing how to take care of themselves, being self-sustained, being a woman of integrity. That's what I strive for. That's mothering with a purpose. Mothering with a purpose is about setting intentions for the next generation, but being an example of that. So we start, these millennials, we start by mending those relationships with our mother by understanding their story first, without judgment and with patience and grace. That's what mothering with a purpose is about, understanding and overstanding our mother's life, her story, because there's so many women who do not talk to their mothers about their past. It's kind of like we've been programmed not to speak about what happened in our mother's lives, as if it's something bad. And I get that it may even open up doors for mothers to start their healing and for them to mend their relationship with their mom. So it's a current cycle, because it's a ripple effect. And that's how we stop generational curses. That's how we change what's now. We're changing it from the future. We're the generation that's saying, okay, I done had enough. All right. I don't know how you operated this long, but baby, no. I want to put a stop to this. Like, we're the generation to say, okay, I get it. This is what happened, but we need to make changes here. We need to start talking. We need to be open, be vulnerable. It's okay for us as women to be emotionally available. We do not have to fight. We do not have to hate. We do not have to resent. We can have love. We can have compassion. We can be patient with each other in the process. And a lot of women also have to understand that this type of healing is not necessarily for them. It's for you. It's for you as the current mother who has the next generation of children coming in. It's you. It's for you. So even if you want to heal and mend a relationship with your mom and she's just like, no, it triggers her, it is not your responsibility to force her to see what you are seeing currently. You can only deal with who you are at this very moment and continue to do your shadow work and your healing for the sake of yourself and your daughter and the rest of your daughters to come. And the thing about it, when you start to exemplify those changes, you start to glow, you start to transform, because you can still do it without their help, but it makes it a beautiful mending when we can have that divine mother connection. It's so purposeful. It's purposeful because what one grandmother experience, it goes to the mother. What that mother experienced, it goes to her daughter, and so on and so on. It's a cycle, and we pass these things down. That's why our children are suffering right now, because we do not have these relationships. We don't have it. If we had better relationships with our mothers, we would have better children in this world. We would have better women in this world carrying themselves upright with dignity and integrity, with morals, with high standards, better representation for themselves. But because we do not have that, and our mother-daughter relationship is tainted in society right now, our women are struggling. These kids coming up are struggling. They're struggling. That's why mothering with a purpose is so important, because what we experience right now gets passed down to the next generations. So healing as the present generation, the present parents right now that are birthing these next children, it is our duty and responsibility to take the necessary healing steps to be better, to mend our relationships with the women in our families, to get them to be vulnerable and open if they are ready and willing to. It's not forced. It has to be a two-way streak. And know that it is not easy. It's been plenty of times where I'm like, it's just so much going on, but it's still beautiful. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful the way that I look at my daughter, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so excited to see you. Like, I have a certain vision in my head, because the more I heal, the more I do that work, the more that I get myself together and I'm understanding my mother and giving her compassion, the more I'm able to embrace her journey and lift her up. Like, this is the prize. Like, the more I'm able to have a better relationship and I'm able to exemplify these things and share with her. She's getting to that age. Our girls are getting to that age where they're getting their menstrual cycles. We need to start back doing ceremonies. when they get their menstruals, so many things. So yes, I wanted to just share that because this is a topic that really needs to be discussed and talked about. So yes, I hope this video resonated with y'all. Please let me know down in the comment section your thoughts. I want to know how you feel about healing. I want to know what your thoughts on the mother healing, the mother-daughter womb, all that. Or put questions in the comment section of topics you want me to talk about when it comes to motherhood. This isn't just for me, it's for everybody. Every mother that's trying to heal their relationships with their daughters, or vice versa. Daughters trying to heal with their mothers. But either way, it's a beautiful thing. So with that being said, I'm out, family. Peace.